Welcome back, Dollies.
Welcome back, Dollies. Happy Monday.
Happy
Um,
Monday. We made it.
yeah, I was gonna say that since this is pre-recorded the day before, today is the LA Marathon.
Oh, how
So if
fun.
you did that, good job, proud of you. Couldn't be me, but I'm glad it was you.
I want to do like the smallest
Hmm.
one. I really
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
But
yeah.
then I got
Like
pregnant
the
at the
three
wrong
mile
time.
one.
Yeah, I could do that. I can dang do it.
Totally.
I could
Yeah,
push the kids in a wagon and we can do it.
1000%. Yeah.
I was gonna try to do the one in May at the Indianapolis, but I
I've
think
been
it's in May.
talking about it. Yeah.
But this baby, I'm like, I'm not gonna try. I went on a hike this week with the mom group, and usually, like, if you're not from California, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go on a hike. Well, if you're not from somewhere with mountains, because there's other places where you can hike besides
Yeah.
California. But and usually, like here, it's like I'm going for a hike, and you're like, okay, you're going on a trail walk.
Yeah.
But this one was like, it wasn't that bad, but it was like a lot of ups and downs, like randomly. And there was tree branches, like tree roots growing up. So I couldn't push the wagon over them.
Oh my gosh.
It was insane. Like me and
What were
another
other
mom,
people doing with their kids?
they were all walking, but
Oh,
mine doesn't love to walk all the time. And I'm not going to carry him at this point. I can't.
heck no.
He weighs 52 pounds. Um, so another mom that I'm friends with, before I even joined the group, I was friends with her, and she has an older girl and a boy. And the boy is the same age as Arkham. He's like a month younger. And he's also big. He's very tall. And he wanted to ride in the wagon too. And she was like, well, I'm not gonna let you push it. You're pregnant. And I was like, it's fine. So we were doing it kind of together. But then the roots, we literally had to be like, okay, boys, you're gonna have to get out and walk for a bit because these roots are too gnarly. We were
Oh
like
my
lifting the
gosh.
wagon. We're like, oh my God. And
Some
after, oh my God, after I was like, okay, my belly's kind of sore. He was like, you shouldn't go on another walk today. I was like, well, I wanted to. But yeah,
yeah.
Arkham also loves when I let the wagon go downhill and
Mm,
I have to chase after it. But then after a while, I'm
yeah.
like, okay, I can't run after this thing. I'm done.
No. Yeah, no.
So
Yeah, because I mean, don't they say like going for like a 20-minute walk or something is good when you're pregnant, but not like this.
super. And then like when I'm pushing things, I feel like I'm kind of like flexing
Yeah,
my
you
stomach.
shouldn't do that. Yeah.
So it was a tiring day.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you pushed through, literally.
Pushed through. And P tried to ride his bike and meet us there, but he had chain issues. It was like a crazy day. And then he was like calling me, and Arkham wanted to keep walking. I was like, okay, everybody already left. And like Bobby needs us to come get him probably. I'm like, we need to get in the car. He's like, well, I'm gonna keep walking. Okay,
Oh,
let's go a
now
little
you
bit
want to
longer.
walk. Yeah.
I know.
That's so funny. I know one of my coworkers is doing the LA Marathon. She's been like training for it though. Like she joined like a Venice Run Club and it's cute because she sent us this link and it you can like track where she is in the thing.
Cute.
I know. So she's like, here's this if
Does
anybody
her
is
name
like
start with a J?
it starts with a K.
Oh, never mind.
Not not the ones you know. But she yeah, she's been like training for it a little bit,
You
so
go, girl.
I know. I'm like, you're killing it.
That's
Um,
how long is a marathon? Like 10 miles or something?
okay, I don't know. I think it's 13 miles.
Oh,
But like I really don't know a lot about marathons or any of the other runs because
yeah. Oh my God.
so my coworker, I was like, what time do you think you'll make it in? Like, do you have a goal for yourself?
Oh
Here.
my
No,
God.
it's 25 miles.
It's 26.2.
Okay, so what is
Okay,
today?
I'll just die.
There's something else today then because she said that she's
Okay.
doing 13 miles. What's 13?
Maybe the half marathon. I wonder if you can do a full marathon and a half
Oh, a
marathon. I
half?
wonder if,
So that's why Jamil was looking at me crazy because I was telling him since he used to be a runner, I was like, oh yeah, like she's doing it. And I asked her, how long do you
there's a
think?
time limit.
Oh,
Well, you
I
know
asked
my
her, I
big
was like,
ass.
no, yeah. I was like, how long do you think you'll make it? And like, do you have a goal for yourself? And she was like, and at this point, I didn't know how long a marathon was.
It's
And
today, I think.
yeah, she said. oh, I think I'll be done in 2.5 hours. And I was like, okay. She's like, because I did 10 miles in 2 hours and it's an extra 3 miles because it's 13 miles. So I'm thinking 2.5 hours because by the end I'm gonna be like slowing down. And I'm like, okay, well, like, I hope you do it. So then I told your mom, I'm like, yeah, she said she's gonna do the marathon in like 2.5 hours. And he was like, what?
He's
And he was
setting
like,
records.
that is, yeah. He was like, that's unheard of. Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I swear. And I'm like, and she said that like that was gonna be like a little bit long for her. Like, and I was like, what? So that makes sense. She's probably doing the half marathon. I'm learning every day.
Still, we're cheering her on. You go,
Yeah.
girl.
I just
Oh,
watched really quick, I just watched the episode of the Kardashians where Courtney and Travis go and he's doing like a 3 mile. Is that a 5K? I think that's a 5K. I don't
see, I
know.
could do that one.
Yeah, so they're doing that and I forget why they're doing that. But he was like hosting it or something. And
3.1 miles. You go.
yeah, she's like, oh, I'm doing it with him. And he's really into running, I guess. So he was like on it. But she was like, oh, my breasts are like huge right now from breastfeeding. And then
You
she's like,
cannot
oh,
run with
yeah,
full
she's like,
milk
it's
breast.
really hard to run. And um it like hurts. She's like, but like we're gonna start off in a jog and then we're gonna go to a walk. But it was just so funny because she's like, and it shows her, and then she's like, okay, guys, and she's like with two of her like friends, and she's like, I think we should walk now. And then everybody's just like lapping them. And she's like, go, guys, keep going. And then, like, towards the end, she's like,
Love it.
maybe we should jog again.
To cross the finish line.
Yeah. I'm like, she did it. Good for her because she didn't have to.
True.
But that was in the spirit of today.
So if you can't do a marathon or half marathon, whatever, and you're interested, I think this is so cool. I sent it to P and I like considered doing it myself, but I don't know. I don't know. But it's really cool. I think it's like if you look it up, it's like Jelly Roll. I would type in like Jelly Roll marathon. He like basically on one of the apps, he has a run club and you don't have to be there to do the 5K with him,
Oh,
but
nice.
like you can basically practice and like lead up to the 5K and on the day that he's doing the 5K, you
Yeah.
can like do it with him on the
Aw,
app.
that's
And I'm like,
so
that
cute.
is so cool because he wants to inspire people to lose weight and like I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's cute. I love that.
That's an option.
Well, shout out to all the runners. You
True.
guys are
Because it
killing
can't be us.
it.
Literally, my body is not made for running. Like I run and I bleed. Like
Yeah, I
TMI
think
out
my
my vag.
body. Yeah,
And so the midwives have pretty much told me like
don't.
you
It's
shouldn't
not
be
for you.
running. Don't jog, don't run. And
No,
every time I feel like
1000%.
I could do it and then I do it and
Yeah.
I get home, I'm like, I didn't even run that much and I'm bleeding. Are you kidding me?
No, no, it also that was also said in they didn't talk about bleeding after you run, but Travis was like, maybe you can give the runners some of your Lemmy gummies. And she's like, yeah, for their vaginas. And he's like, yeah, that might be nice. And she's like, because you think like they're worried about their vagina health? The runners are worried. And then they're like, maybe the matcha ones. They're like, yeah, we'll do the matcha. I'm like, people have vagina problems when they run. Example, Sierra.
It's me. It's
Yeah, it's
also
me.
my tits get so sore if I run.
Yeah,
It's
no,
horrible.
you definitely weren't made for running
I
because
could fast walk
yeah,
around this block, no
yeah,
problem.
yeah. You're just like short and stout
I'm a
and
teapot.
you have huge boobs.
I'm dead.
And I see, but that's good. Like you weren't made for running, so you're not a runner. I think I was made for running because I'm lean.
You have the longest legs.
I have long legs and like I'm thin.
I swear everybody can like outwalk me. I'm like, you guys are walking so fast and you're not even walking fast because your legs are so much longer than mine. Not P's because he has short legs, but his
Yeah,
legs and my legs are like the same height, which is insane.
it's crazy.
And also when I went to I want to measure because I'm so curious. But the last time I was at the midwife, she was like, you have a really good torso. You have a really long torso. That's great. And I was like, Do I?
Maybe because like the shorter you are, maybe you like people usually have like a short torso. I don't know.
Maybe I was like, I'm gonna have to measure like, am I equal? Are my legs
So
and my
with
torso
Paul,
equal?
does he have like short legs and a long torso?
Yes.
That's so funny. You know
And
what I've
Arco
seen?
has like the same body because when he was little, like I remember this one kid that he was like taller than. They were on like a bike or kind of like a teeter-totter, but it had like bike feet things. And she
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, he can't reach. He's short. I thought he was taller than him." And I was like, "Well, his legs are short, but his torso is long.
He is, but in the other way.
His legs are low short."
Yeah, that's so cute. I know I've seen people where it's like, let's say me and you, I'm taller than you, but then when we sit, we're the same height.
Oh, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
and it's because like all like my body would be like I have short legs but a long torso, and then you have
Oh,
long legs or something like that, where it's like then when we sit, one of us has a short, like I would have a
I think
short,
you would have a short torso.
would have a
Do
long.
we sit?
I think I'm pretty proportionate. So I think I am still tall, like, because I think you're pretty proportionate. So I think we still just level out the
We
same.
need to measure. We need to have the guys measure. I feel like maybe we have even torso, even legs.
Maybe. We are pretty
Pretty
proportionate.
perfect.
Yeah.
If I say so myself.
Um, so yeah, but to get into our weeks, I was gonna say nothing really has happened for me. We have a guest staying with us, so we've just been like kind of out and about. Me and my mom, I took her to this like scalp massage place that's really popular in West Hollywood. Like Kim Kardashian went and a few other celebrities. So it got like out there. And I wanted to take her because she's a hairdresser, a retired hairdresser.
Ooh.
And she like what better gift for a hairdresser than to have them like a luxury head spa. So it was like an hour long. We went, they gave us these like nice silk robes. They did a microscope to our scalp in the beginning to show us. And like I had some like buildup, which could come from just like natural oils or shampoos or products, and a little bit of redness, which she says is normal. And then they take us to this chair and like the legs go up and it's a whole massage chair. But you know how the nail salon ones are crazy and you're like, this one was great. It was like it was so good. It, like squeezed your legs a little bit, your arms. It was really
Uh,
nice. And then you just like have your head in like, not like the bowls at the hair salon because those can be uncomfortable. This one was really comfortable. You just sat there. They put
yeah.
like a towel over your face. Like they
Oh,
some essential oils. And then they just like did such a deep
I feel like
scrub.
I would fall asleep.
No, they were like, good night. Like, and we were just like, and it was for like, I don't know, probably 45 minutes. And then you get back up and then they blow dry your hair for you. They
Oh,
do oxygen to your scalp. They do red light and blue light therapy on your scalp. And then they like brush it and make it dried. And then they take the microscope again to show you my hair and my scalp has never felt so, it literally felt like I was bald because it was so light. Me and my mom were like, we feel like we don't have hair because it was so great. So definitely recommend.
oh.
That's pretty much the only highlight of my week. What about
And were
you?
there men there? I'm
We were
curious.
honestly like the only ones. It was pretty dead. We walked in and they just like put us in a room like quick. So we didn't see anybody when we were going in or out, but the ladies were really sweet and I would recommend for an experience.
Ooh, love.
Yeah. The
Okay.
highlight of your week.
The highlight of my week was we have countertops.
Ooh.
We're official. Our bathroom vanity in the spare bathroom is also complete. I think I
Good.
just need to like touch up paint. Um, so now we're kind of on the hunt for like what tile would work in there. I
Yeah.
don't think this year we'll probably redo it, but I don't know if before the baby comes.
Yeah.
Just because I'd rather have for sure two bathrooms than like maybe it'll be done, maybe
Mhm.
it'll take a little longer. So
For
but
sure.
it's like so weird. I keep envisioning this tile in my head and I keep trying to explain it to P and I'm like, I swear I've seen it somewhere. And we can't like I can't find it.
Weird.
And so I'm like, what in the world? So I need to try a few more stores, see if I can find it.
Yeah.
But Yeah, countertops have definitely been the highlight today. I've got a lot of baking, or if not this week, because I usually bake all our own like breads, bagels, and stuff, and we've just kind of cleaned out the freezer. And if not, I probably should throw out whatever is in the freezer.
Yeah.
Um, so now I have a full surface because it was really hard. So I took out my starter, my sourdough starter, to wake him up
Yeah.
and
I need to take
make
mine
some
out because I did that one bread and then I like never did it again.
I was like, if I make a loaf in the next few days, I'll probably have to make like four because I feel like I'm gonna eat one whole loaf with
Yeah.
butter.
Yeah.
Yum.
Well, that's exciting. I can't wait. Anything else? Or should we jump into the stories?
I think we're ready to go.
Me
Otherwise, it
too.
hasn't been that entertaining. The dog has been spotted, but our fence is almost complete.
Oh yeah.
So a neighbor went to, she asked me, she's like not even seen the dog, but she's like, she's a ride or die. I'm glad she's my neighbor. She don't play. This is like an open carry state, and she's an ex weightlifter. And
Dang.
she wears like the short, she's in her 60s. She wears like the short workout shorts. And she's like, well,
Cute.
I'm not worried because I'm packing. I'm like, where? Like, dang, she ain't playing. So I'm like, if I ever have any issues, I'm calling her.
Yeah,
So
for
she
real.
came out the other day and she was like, whose house? Who do you think it is? And I was like, oh. And I was like, I've heard that it's this
Yeah.
neighbor on the street with the long driveway. And so she was like, okay, I'm going over there. And
Oh,
she,
you're like, you didn't hear it from me
I
though.
was like, don't put me in it. I don't want to
Yeah.
be in it.
That's
And
so
so
funny.
she went over there and she knocked on the door and they said it's not their dog. So it's even more confusing. And I was like, was it wearing a black collar? And she's like, no, it wasn't wearing a collar. So I'm like, maybe it's not their dog, but if it is, at least now they're like, okay, people are on to us.
Yeah. Shoot, if she came to my front door too, I'd be like,
Not
no,
my dog.
what you're talking about.
I don't even have a dog. That's not mine.
And then I'd be like,
Bring it inside.
oh,
Get a leash.
yeah, for real. Oh my gosh.
So
Well, I'm
mystery not
glad.
solved.
Yeah, I'm glad you have a good neighbor. That's always a plus.
She ain't playing.
Friends with her. Okay, for the stories this week, there weren't a lot. There were some that I was like, oh, I feel like this is something that people are like talking about, but it wasn't any like Sean Diddy Combs and Blake Lively. Like that stuff popped up, but it wasn't really anything new. It was just like
Same
Sean
old.
Diddy pretty much pleading not guilty again to like over
That's insane.
his workers or whatever. Like he's pretty much pleading guilty to or pleading not guilty
To
to
everything.
everything. So it's like that's pretty much just like what it's saying. Blake Lively stuff, it didn't really say any new information that was like that interesting. So I picked some other ones to give some other people the spotlight. And I think that these are all people that like we both kind of know. So the first one, Luke Combs details debilitating struggle with obsessive compulsive disorder.
Oh,
Love Luke Combs. Me and one of my coworkers went to his concert last year, and it was just the best.
I would
Um,
not imagine that from him.
I know, me either, so I was shocked. So I think I'm glad he's like talking about it because I do think a lot of people have like OCD, but I think there's a lot of people, including myself, that I'm just like, oh yeah, like I'm a little OCD, but I don't actually have the disorder. And I
Right.
feel like when everybody's kind of just like, oh yeah, like I'm OCD, like you're kind of just like brushing it off like it's nothing. But there's actually people that like mentally struggle with it.
Struggle.
Yeah. Um, let me see. Hold on, just
And it must be so hard, like having two young kids. I mean, it's hard for me, and I'm like more of a laid back person, but sometimes I'm like, oh my God, everything is a mess. Like, no matter how much I clean, or like, it's just like everything gets taken back out. Everything's like,
and one thing I saw, which I didn't know was a thing, this girl who was on a reality TV show that I watched, I follow her, and she had a baby, and then she came out afterwards and said that she was diagnosed with postpartum OCD. Not
interesting.
postpartum depression, but postpartum
In
OCD, which
closet
I
and
didn't
into
know
my
was a thing.
closet
And
and
she was
that's
like, it was just
room.
so mentally exhausting. And she was like, because I was just so like, nothing can be out of order. Don't,
Can you come
Hi.
with me? Whoa, we're gonna knock it over.
Like
I'm gonna.
nothing can be out of order. Don't,
You got
um, like,
me.
let me do it. Like, just taking on everything because she was so like OCD about how everything was done.
Yeah.
She took it on for herself and then she was like exhausted. So there's all different forms of it. Okay. So Luke Combs recently shared insight into his particularly wicked relationship with OCD, including his recent flare-up while performing in Australia earlier this year. He's getting candid about his private mental health journey. The beautiful, crazy singer recently opened up about his struggles with OCD, including how the condition, which causes him to have intrusive thoughts, has affected him since the start of his career. It's thoughts essentially that you don't want to have, Luke, who's 35, said on February 9th. They cause you to be stressed out, then the stress causes you to have more thoughts, and then you don't understand why you're having them. You're trying to get rid of them, but doing so makes you have more of them. Despite having those plaguing thoughts, Luke said that he handles his OCD really well, but occasionally his disorder, which he was first diagnosed with at 12 years old, still sneaks up on him at unexpected moments, such as his two sold-out shows at Sydney's Stadium last month. The first 2 weeks for me were a lot of rumination stuff that wasn't ideal, the country star recalled of his episode at the time. It's very tedious to pull yourself out of it. You have to know what to do. Luke, who shares sons, Tex Lawrence, who's 2, and Bo Lee, 19 months, with wife Nicole Hawking, said that while he considers himself to be an expert in slowing down his episodes, he feels for those who are struggling with any form of the condition. Um, OCD manifests in numerous ways, including the most common type that deals with fears that lead you to do repetitive behaviors.
Okay, I was gonna say because it almost sounds like partial anxiety, but then I guess the fears to do specific things is the OCD.
Yeah. So it says, he says he's learned to embrace his OCD by comforting those intrusive thoughts with less fear. When it happens now, I'm not afraid of it because I'm like, what if I'm like this forever? He continued, I know I'm not going to be like this forever now. Keep, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all it says. But yeah, I think OCD is really interesting because I feel like it kind of looks like anxiety, kind of looks like it could be depression, kind of looks like this, but I feel like there's such like a like difference in the
Yeah,
fact that you're like, I have to be in control. And like, if I don't do this, like I
this is gonna
always
happen.
do, it's like chaos is going to happen and the worst is going to happen. And that girl that I follow that came out about the postpartum depression, she was like, oh my God, it was exhausting. She's like, because with my daughter, she's like, I was so like, no, 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 don't do that. Like, we have to do it like this or else this could happen. Like, she was like, I was scared 24/7 that like, if I didn't do this exactly like this or somebody else didn't do it exactly like this, that like the worst. So, very interesting. And it's
It's
crazy
terrible.
diagnosed at 12.
I know.
But um it's good for him to talk about, I feel like, because I feel like
And
when he talks,
especially as a man too, because I feel like you hear less of it from the male perspective.
oh, 1000%. And especially with people that are like famous and you're like, what are they struggling with? You know? But like they all money can't fix the mental all the time.
I will say that I listened to it was an old podcast, but I loved it. It was Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert and my favorite, Jason Siegel.
Yeah.
He was on it and he was talking about like a small portion because Dax is an ex-addict
Hmm.
and Jason isn't an addict, but he's sober. And it was really good. If you're ever looking for something that's just like calm and comforting, just the way they talked about it. And he was like, I felt like in this moment, like this is all I ever wanted to have,
Yeah.
but like I still wasn't happy. Like, why?
Yeah.
So I thought that was really good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll have to listen to it because there's always like the root of it, and like the surface stuff is just not gonna fix it. Maybe temporarily, but at the end of the day, you gotta deal with the demons. Another one who we I still love. Maybe you don't, I don't know how you feel about them anymore, but we loved Justin Bieber.
Oh, I still love him.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if I ever loved him as much as you did, but
I just love him.
But we went to his concert when we were like
13?
13. So,
Wow, that was
ugh,
the best. In
makes me
his
want to listen to the old jams.
hair swoop era,
Baby, baby, baby. Oh, ugh, love it.
it was the best. Um, obviously, we all know Justin Bieber struggled himself with a lot of stuff, but this I thought was really sad. Justin Bieber shares cryptic message about feeling like a fraud and being unworthy. And that just makes me so sad to hear that. Just like with anybody, to feel
Yeah.
like you're unworthy. It's just like so sad. So it says Justin Bieber shared that he feels unworthy when those around him have praised his success, admitting that he believes he's unequipped and unqualified most days in a new social media post. Sometimes even Justin Bieber has a hard time loving all parts of himself. The sorry singer, excuse me, the sorry singer shared a vulnerable message about self-worth while reflecting on how he feels when he's told he deserves his success. I personally have always felt unworthy, like I was a fraud, he wrote in a March 13th Instagram story. Like when people told me I deserve something, it made me feel sneaky, like, damn, if they only knew my thoughts, how judgmental I am, how selfish I really am, they wouldn't be saying this. He admitted, I definitely feel unequipped and unqualified most days. This message was also one of relatability with Justin, who shares baby Jack Blues Bieber, who's 6 months old, with wife Haley Bieber, telling his fans that if they felt the same way, welcome to the club. Sorry, this thing popped up. The Grammy winner latest post comes days after he shared an eyebrow-raising biblical message on social media following rumors that he's been using hard drugs. The post, which referenced the Gospel of John in the Bible, told the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from Lazarus?
Lazarus.
Lazarus from the dead. Justin, who's 31, that's crazy in its own,
I
aside.
know.
The best part of the story was that people doubted Jesus whether he could raise Lazarus from the dead, which he did, showing that he has the power over life and death. As for why the baby singer may have shared that parable, just 1 week earlier, he posted a video of himself rapping about being high like a magpie after his rep slammed claims that he has been using hard drugs. Justin has been open about his journey with addiction, sharing in his 2020 docu-short Justin Bieber Sessions that by age 19 he began using heavy drugs regularly, like MDMA and hallucinogenic mushrooms. He said, I decided to stop because I felt like I was dying. My security and stuff would come into my room at night to check my pulse. People don't know how serious it got. It was legit crazy, scary. I was waking up in the morning and the first thing I was doing was popping pills and smoking a blunt and starting my day. It just got scary. And since entering his sobriety journey, Justin, who continued to battle Lyme disease and chronic mono, emphasized that he's remained committed to getting better, whether it's inconvenient or not. I know ultimately it's not only for me, but being the best me is going to help me be the best husband, the best father, the best friend I can possibly be, he concluded. For all my fans that want to enjoy the music that I make, I can't do that if I'm not healthy, and I haven't been healthy for a long time. So that made me sad because I just
That's very
feel
sad.
like he was so young when he entered the industry and like, oh, I just like feel for like the youngins that like maybe don't have the protection they need because I'm just gonna say it, he was taken under the wing of Sean Diddy Combs.
Which is crazy because like we didn't know that when we were young. Like, was that not out there? Or we just not know that?
I mean, I
I
think
remember
it's
that
out there a
Usher
little bit.
like
Yeah, but I think that because Usher, I think
brought
was
him in. And he
Usher
was
was
also.
under the wing of, yeah, so I think it was kind of like a tier thing. But
But
like
maybe because we were young, we just
video,
didn't know that. I don't know.
there's a
I
video
didn't know that.
of him like super young with P. Diddy, and they're like talking about, he's like, yeah, I'll give you this car when you turn 16 or something. I don't know. Like, it's just like,
No.
so I just feel bad for him. And like, I don't think he grew up with his dad in his life. So, like, the male figures that came in, I feel like those were the men raising him. and I just feel really bad for him. But I know that people always come at Hailey Bieber because people love Selena Gomez and like wish that they would have stayed together. But like I
I
don't
don't wish they'd stayed together, but I do like Selena Gomez more than I'm not a fan of Hailey Bieber. I just have no feelings on her. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like people like really dislike her, but the people that really dislike her because they think that she stole Justin Bieber from Selena Gomez, but like it's old news. Maybe in the beginning, but like it's old news.
And
But
I don't think that was a good relationship anyways for either of
yeah,
them.
me either. So I
Save Selena.
feel like Hailey Bieber is unproblematic in her own, and she's not as much in the light as he
Mhm.
is. And I hope that she's somebody that can like kind of help ground him and just like, be a support system.
Yeah, it's really sad. And like you hope and like thankful that those are the only things he does have.
Yeah.
Lyme disease, which is crazy, and also the
Chronic
chronic
chrono,
mono.
chronic, chronic mono.
I didn't know. I thought you would get mono and it gets cured and goes away. So
No.
that's crazy. But
He
I mean,
also had like Bell's palsy not that long ago. One side of his face,
pray.
he couldn't move it. So he's dealing with a lot.
But drugs are not the answer. And
Yeah.
hopefully, I mean, like you said, kind of the only way to get out of things is to face and fight your demons. It's not easy.
And that's what he said, which I loved that line. He's like, I'm doing this, whether it's even if it's inconvenient, because it is inconvenient. Like, and you have to like push through it.
I was just telling
No.
you today in our video messages that like one of the reasons that my midwife said that like she thinks I got through labor like so fast and like so nonchalant is because I literally from the beginning kept telling myself like nut up Sierra, this is just the start. I had to read it. Um like this is just the start, it's gonna get way worse. And so like that's like definitely one of my life mottos. Like it's
Nut
just
up.
gonna get worse, nut up. Like just and if it doesn't get worse, then great.
Then
But
great.
I can
You still got
relate
nut up.
because I feel that way a lot of the time. Like a lot of the time, I feel like I don't belong. Even when I'm around a bunch of adults sometimes that are like also moms, I'm like, I feel like I'm the youngest one here. I
Yeah.
feel like I don't have my shit together. I feel like, or like, I don't like being around people that have like a lot of money. There's people that have a lot of money and are grounded, but like most people that have a lot of money or feel like they have a lot of money or spend a lot of money, I
Yeah.
feel very uncomfortable. Like
Yeah. When
I
they're like
don't know what
super
I'm doing here.
flaunted about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I thought that was sad because he also was saying that like he feels unworthy because I think he thinks that everybody thinks he's like this great person and like you're so deserving of success. And he's saying like if
I'm
only they
not really.
knew how judgmental I am and how like like not
Like
like
on
the
the inside, I'm not as good as I
yeah.
appear.
And I'm like that's
It's
sad
sad.
because he's so like he's recognizing that in himself and to be like he probably doesn't like that about himself, but it's hard to
It's
change
there.
something that like that's what you're taught. So we're rooting for you. If you go on tour, I'll be there. I got
And
you.
when you have kids, I have to say, they notice everything about you. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, the 6 month old isn't quite old enough to be showing a lot of the signs,
Mhm.
but you'll notice like kids' certain actions are a lot of the time from the parents. So
Yeah.
it always makes me feel good and surprises me sometimes when I hear how kind and good Arkham is to other people, like when he thinks nobody's listening, or how kind he is to me or my husband, because
Mhm.
it makes me feel like, okay, I am who I say I am. I'm
Yeah.
modeling, even sometimes I have bad moments, but like it's just crazy. And I've heard the opposite end where people are like, I realize how crappy I am because
Yeah.
the way my kids talk to each other, or the way they talk to others,
Mimic everything.
and they're watching you. Like the do as I say, not as I do does not work. They are watching.
Oh, heck yeah. So hopefully he continues on his sobriety journey. And
We're rooting for him.
yeah, once he starts making music again, I think that'll be our sign that he's like feeling good about himself. Third story, Nikki Garcia details reuniting with ex John Cena for first
Oh,
time in 7 years. Nikki Garcia
mm,
reflected on her reunion with ex-fiance John Cena, who called off their engagement in July 2018 after 6 years of dating at WWE's latest Royal Rumble.
oh.
Um, there's no animosity in this elimination chamber. Over a month after the star Nikki Garcia,
I didn't know that was her last name.
Well, it was Nikki Bella. Briefly,
Oh,
she's married now, I think. Briefly
no.
ended her. No, who the heck is Nikki Garcia? Oh, I guess maybe.
I think that might be her real last name, but I think they're just
Yeah.
known as the Bella twins. But when you're done reading, I'll share.
Nikki Garcia briefly ended her retirement to return to the 2025 Royal Rumble in February. She recently shared how it felt to be back in the ring and reuniting with ex John Cena. It was very quick, Nikki told Kristen Cavallari during the New York stop of her Let's Be Honest podcast. The 41-year-old who split with John in July 2018 after 6 years of dating noted that it's been 7 or 8 years since they saw each other. I was in a circle talking to people. He came to shake everyone's hand. He shook my hand.
I feel like John Cena is just such a good guy. Like, I feel like everything he does has purpose and like it's always out of
Uh,
kindness.
I feel like I don't know that much about him. I just know what I saw when I watched the show, the Bella show or
I
whatever.
never even watched that.
The twins, they like had their own show, and obviously he was on it because they were together. And like I don't know that much about him, but all I remember is that like she like kind of wanted to get married and start a family, and he was so against it. He was like,
He
"No, I don't."
never wanted to have kids and he is married now,
That's why
but
they broke up because I think she was sacrificing and like, okay, that's fine, but she wasn't happy. Like she really wanted that, and I think it was best for them to go their separate ways so that it would have been toxic, I think, because
and
she
I
would.
think it's a good lesson. Like, be honest and upfront in the beginning because I feel like that screws a lot of people where they're like, well, he said he didn't want to have kids, but like I thought he would change and he didn't. Or,
Right.
or she said,
Nikki, who shares 4-year-old son Mateo with ex-husband Artem Chigvintsev.
I do not know how to say their last name.
Yeah, me neither. Didn't share if she and the Suicide Squad actor 47 spoke to each other, but the people surrounding them had a notable reaction to their reunion. When he walked away, all the girls were like, "Oh my gosh," she continued, adding she wanted to respect John's space as he's now married to wife Shay Shariatsadeh, and that
What
was
in the world?
I know.
With
It
all
was
these names.
great. It was great because we were breaking the ice and we both happened to be back at WWE at the same time. It's a good feeling. According to Nikki, this experience was more pleasant than the previous run-in at the same event in 2018. At the time, Nikki said the moment, which was captured on her and her sister Brie Garcia's former E! show Total Bellas, was hard to go through as she was trying to put on a brave face for the Royal Rumble crowd. Because of all the John stuff, I feel like I've been on such an emotional roller coaster, Nikki said at the time, and today has been like double that. But I'm going to be a part of this major historic moment, but I can't help but have all this John stuff on my mind. Um, Let's see. Yeah, it says now that she and John appear to be on decent terms, Nikki's focused on the next chapter in her life, finding a new partner that she can keep up with, finding a new partner that can keep up with her. Nearly 3 months after she and Artem finalized their rocky divorce, she retired wrestler. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm speaking like this. Nearly 3 months after she and Artem finalized their rocky divorce, the retired wrestler shared she's not interested in dating or training younger men
Mm.
to be owned, she told her sister on the February 18th episode of their self-titled podcast, I Want My Body Rocked.
Whoa.
No, she wants a man.
Once a band. I feel like Artem was kind of cute, but he didn't he have,
Petite.
yeah, he's a small guy, and I think that he got violent. That was kind of the
Oh,
end of their
I think you're
situation
right.
because he got kicked off Dancing with the Stars. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
didn't return,
Yes, you're right. Yeah, so I
which
haven't
is wild.
time. I know. I
I
would
feel like she would kick your ass.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't embarrass yourself, okay?
I wonder if he was younger than her.
I don't know, but I am glad to hear they're on good terms. I didn't realize that John Cena was married, but not that I didn't realize it, I didn't remember that he was married, but
He
I did,
doesn't, I don't think, talk about it a lot.
yeah, I do know that because I remember after him and Nikki separated, then like he went on and got married after he continuously told her he didn't want to get married. And I remember like, oh, so then it was for the best though. Like it just like wasn't meant to be, but I feel like
it hurts a little.
Yeah, that has to hurt.
But I think if you find somebody that's like, it's fine to get married if you're like the whole time you said I don't have kids, she doesn't want to have kids, okay, we're even. Like, but if somebody's like, I do want to get married and I want to have kids, and then you're like, well, I don't want to do either of them because I
Yeah, and
feel
then
like
you
if you
feel
get
like I
married, the
can't
gateway.
feel that. Yeah, exactly. Well, good luck to both of them. I hope she finds what she's looking for.
I feel like there's a lot of women out there looking for this right now.
Oh,
I mean,
1000%.
J-Lo, all the
Yeah,
girls that just recently got divorced. So, I mean, step up, guys.
nut up.
They're waiting for you. Nut up. Nut out.
For real. Do we have any hot topics for the week?
So last week was banana, and I just checked the vote, and actually all the votes, nobody voted for string cheese. Nobody string cheeses their banana.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Just me. By the way, I've seen my child open a banana perfectly, so I think maybe he just
Okay,
asks me to open it because it's challenging for me.
entertaining.
I swear,
That's so
like yesterday, I just saw you open a banana perfect on your own, and now you're handing me this one to open for you.
fun.
Awesome. I still couldn't do it when I tried
Oh
to rip
my
it out.
gosh.
I still had to use my nail and then ripped it.
That is
I
wild.
don't know why. I struggle.
Hilarious. I love it.
So people voted for bottom. So
Not
maybe
my
more
type of
people
people, but to each
voted.
their own. That's what you, that's what,
Um, so since today, Monday, is St. Patrick's Day when this comes out, I'm curious if you have corned beef and cabbage. Do people do that still?
I think my mom, she has done it every now and then to try to be festive. I like corned beef and I like
And
cabbage.
potatoes and carrots
Yeah, so I'm not opposed to it. Do I go out of my way to
to
do
make
it in
it
my apartment?
or
No.
buy it.
Yeah. Do I do any celebration for St. Patty's Day? No. But maybe it'll change once I have kids. I don't know.
I love corned beef and cabbage. My whole life we had corned beef and cabbage, even after my mom passed away, because she used to make it, I think.
Yeah.
Then my dad and I would always go get it at a restaurant,
Yeah.
like order takeout. And that was bomb. I could eat that right now. It sounds so good.
Yeah.
So last year, and then there's been years where I've been vegan, but on the years that we've been like vegetarian or vegan, I made it without the corned beef and I just seasoned the cabbage and carrots
Yeah.
and potatoes. That was bomb.
Yum.
So we don't have a corned beef, but I've been thinking about maybe going out today since it's the day before to get it because it
Yeah, you should.
just sounds yummy and easy to make.
Yeah, definitely. You'll have to let me know if you do.
And I feel like it might be on sale. So,
Yeah. No, seriously, it probably will.
but one year, when Arkham was younger, P made us like green spirulina omelets. That was really
Yum.
good. So I don't know. I've seen like fun, festive stuff you can do with the kids, but
Yeah.
probably wouldn't do anything major. I did make green Play-Doh for the week. Um, But honestly, I'm just so behind on like I need to like
Yeah.
get stuff done. So me.
Yeah, I feel you.
Also,
Yeah.
Arkham got stung by a wasp or something this week. So that's
Ouch.
been he seems fine, but in the middle of the night he literally wakes up. He's not awake, but he's like itching it. And
Yeah.
it's but it seems I need to
God.
check it again today. But the swelling, it's like all fat. Like
Ooh,
so
yeah.
I need to make sure the swelling's going down. But that was also part of our hectic week.
Ay, ay, ay. Well, I hope that heals sooner than later. Let me keep me updated on your corned beef hash journey today.
Oh, yum.
And
Happy
yeah,
St. Patrick's Day,
happy
everybody.
St. Patrick's Day. Let us know
We
your
hope you're wearing green.
yeah, your St. Patty's celebrations, unless you don't have any. And we will see you guys next week. Love you,
Bye,
dolly.
Dolly.